Ladies and gentlemen, on the road to episode 500. We're only 3 episodes away. So what does that mean?
Pew, pew, pew.
Well, that means we're on episode number 497 of Nintendo Dads, recorded September 26, 2024. On tonight's episode, Nintendo's got a new patent for a device that doesn't appear to be the Nintendo Switch. They've also decided to give the wonderful 101 back to another company. And how do we get our hands on all that sweet, sweet Nintendo Museum merch? That, and plus, we have been playing Echoes of Wisdom. All 4 of us have our thoughts and opinions. That and so much more. Jesse, cue the music.
What's up, everybody? It's Marty here with Nintendo Dads, and it is episode 497. As Justin's already said, it's the end of September 26, 2024 to be exact. And hey, look, isn't this cool? The gang's all here. I can finally talk. I'm not coughing. I'm also not busy. And I am just excited to be able to get into this tonight because not only do we get to talk about a brand new Zelda game, but there's also kind of ambivalent news and rumors, you know, like we don't really know what's going on. There's prototypes and I don't know. We're just
excited people are here.
Yeah, I'm just like seriously, I can,
all 4 of us are here.
Talk. I can talk. Yep. The 4 Musketeers are here, which is like a 3 Musketeers bar dipped in batter and fried at your local fair. It's a 4 Musketeers.
Wow. I have not heard of that one.
That's
not surprised.
That's also called Bullet Train to Diabetes Town.
Well, I'm already there. What happens then?
Diabetes.
What happens there? I meet you at the station. Like, hey, I've been here for a while.
Yeah. Welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. So glad you also too can ruin your health for the rest of your life. But hey, look, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Nintendo. I want to find out about you guys. How are you, Justin Masson? Can I just say something here? Can I say something here?
You can always say something.
I don't know what you've been doing this afternoon or this evening, but that was the most exuberant introduction to the show.
Thank you.
I think I've ever heard from you. How are you?
Doing all right. Yeah, it's life has been crazy busy. I know it was mentioned a while ago. I got a new job, so that is keeping me busy. It's the best way I can say with that. But man, it's great to be back here. Great to talk Nintendo. Lots of exciting stuff too, right? And so yeah, it's kind of, I was talking to Jody about this recently. You know, I get a lot of energy from the time that we spend together here for a couple hours, just geeking out. And man, I just like being in this pocket together. It's exciting, it's warm, it's fuzzy, and I love being here. So thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Speaking of sweets, Jesse Waldeck, how you doing, buddy?
If Jesse was a candy bar, what kind of candy bar would he be?
Zagnut.
What the hell is a Zagnut?
What should we call it?
But you were so confident you didn't even Zagnut. Moving on.
Immediate answer.
I don't know why I did that.
What's a Zagnut?
It's like a Snickers, but not as popular.
Yeah, I've heard of it before, but I don't think I've ever seen one.
Okay.
What candy bar do you think you would be, Jesse?
Good question. I don't know. I think pretty much any of the Reese's line are my favorites. So I think Breakfast, I think
that's a good one. It's a good
Fast Break.
The Fast Break,
yeah.
That's
what it's called.
Yeah.
Supposed to be the breakfast Reese's. Like a Reese's granola bar.
Except for
shoot your blood sugar right up around 400 or 500 right before you get to work. Right? Okay. I would be a double coffee crisp.
Wow. Man, you're okay. All right. I see you. I see what you're doing there.
I mean, I like coffee and I'm large.
Sure.
Those are
double coffee crisp. Yeah.
You know what? My in-laws, they just got back from over in England and Scotland, and I mentioned to them that I would like it if they had time to find me some jammy Dodgers.
Good Jammy Dodger. Yes.
And
Yeah.
they brought me back 3 packages of Jammy Dodgers,
Nice.
which are already all gone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they
I
didn't dodge much.
no. If I am from a like European confectionery fan, and I'm going back to Ireland in a couple weeks from here. Double deckers. Double deckers are my favorite. And here's the thing: you throw them in the freezer. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Nice and cold, and then you bring them out. And there's an extra crunch, and that's really good.
Can you explain a double decker? Because it sounds good.
Sounds good. I'm gonna actually look up right now. Also, Boost bars are my other favorites there. So if
Never
you
heard
are
of those either.
double decker, and I'm this is gonna be not okay for an image search if I hit down double decker. What is in a double decker? Wow, that's literally a question. What's inside a double decker? Here we go. Google search tells me 2 layers of crispy cereal and soft, chewy nugget wrapped in delicious Cadbury chocolate. And there's
I'm not gonna lie.
There's a small amount of coffee in there too.
I looked at a picture up of this, and it looks like an Oreo candy bar.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you could see that a little bit.
So you're gonna bring me one, right?
Well, they're not gonna last that long. When's the next time I'm seeing you? You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, this is a great. Oh my gosh, now I really want a double decker. Yeah, so like when I go to Europe, when I go back to Ireland, or like I have friends who come over, this is the things. I'm like, lots of packs of double deckers, lots of boost bars, some Tato crisps. Yeah, what else can I do here for you? Right. So that's the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. What kind of candy bar do you think Tim would be?
Whatchamacallit? Because you can't figure me out.
I like that. That is not a chocolate bar you have in Canada, by the way. A whatchamacallit, not something you would have here typically.
Yeah.
No.
But those are good. Those were very popular in the early 90s here.
Okay.
They were like it was like Hershey's first new candy bar in a while. And so like the whole idea behind it was that it's kind of like a Kit Kat, but it's also kind of like something else. And also has elements of another thing in it. So it's a whatchamacallit.
Yep.
Nice.
And then they brought out recently a new version of it called like something along the lines of whatchamacallit. It's got a different name, but it's like
Who's a what's
a type of thing. Yeah.
Shout out to Bruce in the chat who says, I love Macintosh toffee. Bruce truly showing his great white North support, because that is a candy in Canada that if it would your grandparents would give it to you if it was time to remove teeth. It'd be have a Macintosh. And it was ripping them out.
Justin sent me a Macintosh one time, and I was like,
did.
ooh, let's try this. And then I had to go to the dentist.
100%. Also, I want to scroll back. Bruce confirmed something here. Bruce says in the chat, I have 2 buns in the oven. So I don't know if he's cooking buns or that's a euphemism for maybe his family's growing by 2.
Yeah, right?
If it is, Bruce, let us know in the chat if you're cooking buns or if your buns are cooked. You know what I'm saying?
Tim, I think the candy bar you're looking for is a Whoozy What's It.
Yes, a Whoozy What's It.
I wasn't too off then.
You weren't. Nope.
I totally made that up.
Whoozy What's It. That's Tim is a Whoosy What's It. That's
I thought you knew what you were talking about.
Welcome to Snack Dads. No one's taken that title before, really, I'm sure.
Hey, no, I'm all for this show becoming a snack thing. Anyway, we really do need to get back on track here because hey, people came here to hear us talk about Nintendo.
All right.
And not
they heard us. They just want to hear us talk about stuff. That's all.
Not the candy bars that we think we are. So how about we just dive straight into the news, shall we?
Do it.
And of course, our news and the ad-free version of this podcast is brought to you each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Huge thanks to all our patrons for helping us make more great Nintendo Dads content each and every week. And our newest patron, the Jiggy Collector. Thank you for jumping in over there.
Can't you see?
He is
Sometimes
obviously
just hypnotize me.
Justin, obviously.
Jiggy, can't you see? Sometimes your dollars just patronize me.
See, wow, that's amazing. I was going to say, obviously, from his name, that he's a huge Will Smith fan.
Getting jiggy with it.
Getting jiggy with it.
He's huge. He's absolutely huge.
They're eating the cats. Anyway, the best thing I've heard.
What's wrong with your country?
That's a different kind of
Yes,
candy
it is.
in
It is.
Springfield.
Right. There's a song out about it. That's why my mind went there. But anyway, huge thanks to our patrons. We love you guys, and you keep the lights on over here. And just as an update, I do want to say this. We did reach the goal of 10 new patrons for Pokemon Crocs for me. They have not released those Pokemon Crocs yet. So I'm waiting. I do look every other day or so just to make sure as soon as they get released, I will buy a pair and we will do that. But anyway, if you go over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, you get access to our Discord. Every tier, even the dollar tier, gets an ad-free podcast feed, access to the dinner table every third Friday of the month, random prizes and giveaways like, I think it's fun, right? Do we want to do this now?
Sure. We told people to tune in live to our show. I'd hate to see everyone just leave if we do this, but how about we do this? We do the news, we do our ad break brought to you by Manscaped, and then we give away a Nintendo Switch.
We don't have a Manscaped ad.
Yeah, we do. Did we do that? Did we do that?
We did the two.
We did the
two.
Yeah,
we did the two this month.
We won't just love them and give them money anyways? No, sure. No. Okay.
If we want to, sure.
Hey, how about this?
Justin, here's behind the scenes stuff. Tim's like, if they ain't paying the bills, we ain't doing it.
Look, Justin, here we go. Put a pin in this. The ad break this week will be giving away the Nintendo Switch Lite.
Sure. We'll do that then.
There we go. All right. So stick around. We're going to give that Nintendo Switch Zelda Edition Lite away a little bit later in the show. But anyway, you can get access to our Discord either by patreon.com/Nintendo Dads or a Twitch Prime subscription. Subscribe to Nintendo Dads over on Twitch. You get access that way as well. Thanks to everybody who does that. Here is the news. Guys, do y'all remember Platinum Games, right? Platinum Games, known for such games as Astral Chain, Transformers Devastation, and, a little game called The Wonderful 101. If you remember the Wonderful 101, big deal, launched on the Wii U back in the day. Of course, the Wii U not doing really good. They did, I think, a Kickstarter to get this released on Switch and other platforms. Nintendo actually owned the patent or owned the trademark for the Wonderful 101. Well, in a rare move, I don't know that I've ever actually heard of a company doing this or being able to do this from Nintendo. Platinum Games has purchased the Wonderful 101 trademark from Nintendo. A document sent to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office requested the transferal of ownership for the IP originally released on the Nintendo Wii U, but later remastered in 2020. Nintendo is listed as the current owner, while Platinum Games is listed as the proposed owner. And from what I understand, that transfer has already taken place. Platinum Games now owns the trademark for the Wonderful 101 IP. My question is, do they do this if they're not going to do anything with it? I think this means we're going to see more games in that series.
That would logically make sense.
Yeah.
I think that you would do something with it if you want something for it, right?
Yeah, because my understanding when they released the game on other platforms, they still needed Nintendo's permission because they were the owners of the IP because they're the ones who published it originally. But now they can do what they want with it without asking for permission anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look for 101, Wonderful 101 to be on every system, including iOS.
Did any of you guys play it before too?
Yeah, I played it on Wii U and have it on the Switch.
Yeah. Okay.
My son Sammy loved it.
Definitely plays way better on the Wii U than it does on the Switch, and I'll tell you why. Because it was a game designed for a touchscreen.
Okay.
So that you could draw your 101 do different things based on how you draw on the screen. And so it's a lot easier to draw on the screen with a touchpad than it is. And I guess you could do it on the
handheld mode. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the
thing would have been easier doing it as a menu at that point.
The thing that I found about that game was it was great in concept, but like about halfway in, it just like it kind of just got bogged down,
Got it.
and so it just kind of stopped chugging.
I listen from Platinum. Really, all I want to hear is where is our next Astral Chain? Because that game, like, if you have not played Astral Chain, folks, and I know it's like a 6-year-old game now, like, and you're looking to add some additional games to your back catalog, Astral Chain
absolutely
is an absolute game that you need to check out.
Already,
it is a banger. I think it's 5 or 6 years
August 30th, 2019 was the
boom.
Yeah,
wow.
5 years exactly, almost.
That game is amazing. I know it got a lot of press when it first came out, got a lot of light and heat on it. I really expected a sequel or something by this point.
Yeah.
Like, I would love some more in that world. I really enjoyed that game.
And there's a lot of, like, whenever there's a Nintendo Direct, there's a lot of calls out for it too. Like, you'll hear in the chat, you'll see like Astral Train 2, and you'll sometimes get those some of those, wide scale trailers, and you're like, is it? No, it's Blade Chronicles 12.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be one of those things that Nintendo was like, you know what? They were developing it for the Switch, and then they were like, you know what? You just hold on to that.
Yeah. It could definitely be like a Switch 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of like that game with Ubisoft, that Ubisoft game that they said, nah, we're good. We'll do what we want with it. And we saw how well that went.
Yeah.
If you see it on sale this holiday season, like if there's Switch games and a discount on it, get it. It's worth it. Speaking of Nintendo submitted a new wireless device to the FCC this week that is not the Switch, nor the upcoming Switch. At least we don't think so. The model number for this device is CLO-001. That model number doesn't exactly reveal what it is. It's only tagged via the FCC as wireless device, sporting a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi radio and a 24 gigahertz MM wave sensor. The 24 gigahertz MM wave sensor is a radar sensor to track movement. So we asked the question, what's it for? Well, we asked for wrong answers from the community, and here's what we got. Ebucel said it's a vitality sensor or a VR emulator. Classic. Bruce says it's a Roomba. Hoots says it's a nicotine patch. And Darth Platypus says it's a new accessory, a step counter that wirelessly links to the new Switch. You have to get 1,000 steps for each 30 minutes of gameplay to help people stay fit. The Verge suggested it could be a new gesture control device, an upgraded dock for some kind of device at Super Nintendo World theme parks, a return of the quality of life sleep tracking initiative, or something to support AR features like Mario Kart Live or Pokemon Go. Guys, what do we say? What do we think this is?
I think like here's the challenge is with the space that Nintendo's in. I think the theme park's a great example, right? Like, you'd think like, oh, it's got to be something for a new console. It really, now that you're in the theme park camp, right? It literally could be anything. It's a sensor so that when you happen to walk by Toad in the park, he's like, hello, right? Like that could be it, right? And it's a motion sensor Toad patent, right? So I think that's sort of the thing to think about, is it really can be anything. It doesn't necessarily mean it's dictated towards the home console or a handheld or anything. It's just it's a patent that they have out for a product that is associated with anything they do. So I don't know. I would suspect it's the park.
Insert for Labo 2.
Right? Yeah.
So this is a stretch. But, the rumor is there's going to be a USB-C port on the top and the bottom of the Switch's successor. One would think, oh, so I can have a tabletop and still plug it in to charge. Okay, fine, that's cool. What if the top USB-C is to add in additional accessories that's game dependent? Such as a movement tracker. Why the hell not?
So I think you and I kind of matched up. But here's what I thought about this is, what if it is to enable dual screen gameplay on the next Switch? You can hold your device handheld and it's also on the TV by using this device.
Yeah, you could have it docked for one display and then have this.
So thus making it available or able to actually play DS and 3DS games via NSO.
Oh, I want that.
Probably not what it is, but when I hear wireless and I see that it's like a square, I don't know, maybe it's
Okay. Well,
I literally thought
just because the patent's a square doesn't mean the real
Right.
thing's a square.
Right,
They're
I know,
just trying
but
to keep it as ambiguous as
my
as
first thought
possible.
was wireless dock. That was it. How do you display in two places at once with the Switch? It has to be wireless. It can't be tethered.
Yeah, though millimeter wave, I don't know if it can transmit video well. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that technology, but yeah.
It's just that is just a radar sensor to track movement, it says. So
Wave can be used for applications such as AR, VR, high quality video transmission in high capacity venues and smart cities, as the higher speeds and lower packet latency offered by Wave can enable more efficient operation and superior user experience.
Tech Mike says millimeter wave is very fast, but cannot go through walls well. Sounds like
I don't think it would have to go through walls. Like I'm thinking about sitting on my couch.
Yeah, well, this sounds like the Wii U again.
Playing brain training, but I'm not having to, I've got my Switch is the tablet. But it's also versatile that I can take it with me.
Wireless power glove. Nice, beer.
Yes, the wireless is so bad. It's just a box. You moving around. Anyway, let the rampant speculation commence.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it's actually for. I love mobile tech, so this is going to be great to see what it's for.
Knowing Nintendo, it's like it checks you in when you get to Nintendo events.
Yeah, like it really could be yeah. It could be anything.
It's just a wireless speaker for a new toy that when you pass by, it says, "It's a me, Mario."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Mario, Super Mario Party Jamboree got a pretty extensive trailer highlighting features this week, which I thought, I'm not, maybe this is just my opinion, this was more information than Nintendo usually lets go at this time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a little early for all this info to be out there.
I would sort of actually disagree, right? Because they have done all the marketing campaign that they needed to for Echoes of Wisdom. So literally our eyes look to the future, right?
Yeah,
and so the thing I need to get you excited about, consumer, who is getting close to the holiday season, is to tell you how amazing this game is, because you want to add it to your wish list and you want to pay for it. And P.S., we know that the Mario Party games sell well. So this is this was exactly what I anticipated. Yeah. And a week before Mario Party, we're going to hear all the things about Brothership, right? So
yeah, absolutely. So let's check out some of these features. Jamboree will feature over 110 mini games and 22 playable characters, including newcomers to the series, Pauline and Ninja. Mario Party mode will allow you to play your way across a grand total of 7 distinct boards, including brand new Goomba Lagoon and Rainbow Galleria boards, as well as 2 returning boards from the Mario Party series from Nintendo 64. Minigame Bay will allow you to choose an assortment of minigames like daily challenges, 2v2 matches, different things like that. There'll be motion control modes and new multiplayer online modes, including a 20-player race to the finish in Koopathlon, or the Bowser Kaboom Squad, in which you take on an imposter Bowser kaiju in the city by gathering bombs and completing challenges. It was that looked interesting.
Wasn't there a level similar to that, the Bowser kaiju thing, sort of like Big Attack in the Wii version? Am I wrong? I thought there was something.
No, there was one. I kind of remember that. I want to say it's Mario Party 10. I think it was the Wii U one.
Yeah, I do remember it was a Wii U one, but I remember there was like some kind of like separate, like you could be Bowser completely separate, or there's something going on there.
I want to say I want to say you're thinking of the Wii U version. Like one player could be Bowser, and the other players were trying to like outrun them on the map or something. So that's kind of like this, except in this one, the AI is playing Bowser, and you're all working to defeat him.
Yeah.
So, and like keep the town intact. So, are you any of you are going to be picking this one up? This is day one for me.
Yes,
100%.
Yes.
The only really unfortunate part is that I am traveling that week. So my kids will get it early, like a week and a bit earlier. Like this would typically be at the Masson family. Cool. The game has come out Friday night. We're ordering pizza. We're ordering Chinese food. We're inviting over friends. We're all sitting in the living room and we are Mario partying for like hours and having a blast. I'm gone, so I don't know if my family's still going to do that or we're going to wait a week, but I'm excited for this. This is an absolute, and I so desperately want Nintendo to do what we want them to do with Mario Party, which is like, and I know they're not going to because we're at the end of the life cycle. I like Nintendo Switch 2, Mario Party Ultimate. Well, I don't care, whatever you want to call it. DLC packets, like all those things.
1,000 mini games.
Yeah, something like that, right? Here's all the boards you can get. I want an Ultra Ultimate Edition. I know why they won't do that. The business part of me knows why they won't do that because Mario Party sells like 17 million copies every version they put out. And if you think I'm being like a little bit over exaggerated, I'm not. Go check the sales numbers. All right. So the 3 Mario Party games that they're going to have put out on the life cycle of the Switch will have sold about the same amount as Animal Crossing. Right. So like that makes them a butt ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
So I know why they're not going to do the ultimate in the DLC because the conversion for DLC is lower than it is buying a brand new game. I get that. But like Nintendo, and I know you listen, it would be cool, you know? Like,
why not both? Why not both?
So to loop back around to the Bowser thing, Bowser Party was a mode in Mario Party 10. 4 players were on Team Mario. They used the TV. The person with the Wii U gamepad was controlling Bowser. And it was a race to get to the end, to the gold star, before Bowser knocked out all your hearts by winning games.
Got it.
All the games were like Bowser versus blank.
Yeah.
And they were really unfair. Because like my family would not play me because I'd always play Bowser and they'd get like 2 turns.
Yeah.
But Dad's not fair. I'm like, well, get good.
Life's not fair.
Life's not fair. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that game is out October 17th, and we will have coverage for that game. So be sure to check back to see what we think of it. Maybe we'll do a stream where it's like somebody's family plays it on screen.
And my philosophy is that you get past dad, you can get past life.
That's incredible.
Just like my philosophy here is if you're not first, you're last.
Exactly.
Yep. Just get good, kid.
Get good.
Right. Hey guys, the Nintendo Museum opened in Japan, and it looks awesome. Too bad we'll never get to go because Miyamoto did say this week that they are not looking to open any more Nintendo museums anywhere. Which is really crappy news. But the in some news that's good, the merch has been online.
Fire.
Like it has exploded online. It's gone viral because it's awesome. It's awesome. Like this looked like the Nintendo store in New York on like super high performance drugs.
Yes.
Seriously.
And I will say, if you're a fan of our content, you know our good friend Roger's Base. Roger was actually over in Japan, got to go to the museum, has a bunch of coverage there. And so that Nintendo sent him over to do. So check his stuff out.
Yeah,
I know he's got more.
Base.
Rogers Base. I know he's got more content coming out soon as well. But yeah, check it out. It looks pretty incredible.
So they had shirts, mugs, pins, basically all of that, including other items based on every Nintendo console. So there was an NES section, a Super NES section, a Nintendo 64, even a Virtual Boy section, and a Wii U section.
Awesome.
One of the things that blew me away was the giant controller pillows.
Yep.
They have like a Wii U pillow or a Wii remote pillow that looks like a body pillow. Giant Nintendo 64 controller pillows.
A Wii remote Dakimara.
One of the things that I saw that I want to know more about was they had like a little island. Like, and by island, I don't mean like tropical island. I mean like a little island, retail island, like set of tables set up, and everything on the table was themed for the original Super Mario Brothers. And they had reproductions of the original Super Mario Brothers Famicom cart, but it wasn't in a box. It was in like a plastic bubble, like mail, like a blister pack. I want to know what that is. Is it a game? Because see, I really want all of the Mario games in the Famicom carts.
Yep.
I just want those to display. I would like to shadow box those, put them here in my office. But like if I could get that and not have to buy the real Famicom cart, and that was cheaper, I would be all about it. But I need somebody to tell me what it is.
I want to have a conversation with Mr. Rogers Base about why weren't we why did he not reach out and be like, yo, Nintendo dads, what can I pick you up while I'm there? Right? That's the question that I want answered.
What he should have did was tell Nintendo, I'm not going unless you bring the Nintendo dads too.
Yeah.
That's what he should have did.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I don't think that's going to go.
Yeah.
But big congrats to Roger, and make sure you check out all of his content.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's our news for this week. Not a whole lot going on, but let's talk about some releases and updates to let you know about. Of course, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom launched today. It is out now, and we have a first look on our YouTube channel right now. Jesse playing through the first couple of hours on that. He had early access to that because he is a Japanese hacker, and also is one. He is one of the doctors from the Doctor Who series.
I thought you meant doctors from Mario.
No, Dr. Mario is also one of the doctors from the.
Wow,
that's a terrible sound.
That brings back some PTSD for.
It does.
It
does. If you ever played Jody,
it looks like he just threw up in his mouth.
Anyway, so that's out now. We'll talk later in the show in our what we've been playing extensively about Echoes of the Kingdom or Echoes of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom, because we've been playing. All of us have been playing that today. Also out soon, Picross Records of the Shield Hero is out on October 3rd. Hatch Tales finally has a firm release date because it does exist. People at Nintendo have played it and they have cleared it. It's coming out October 22nd.
And it's got a subtitle now.
Yeah, a heroic hookshot adventure. We'll see how it is. Listen, I watched the video of the new trailer. It actually looks like it might be fun. So I'm gonna shut my mouth until it comes out. Then we'll let you know because and now Jules even did mention, like, when you kickstart something, you kind of expect to get a code before everyone else, and we're working on that. But he did admit, and I was like, hey, there's some transparency here. He said, we've never done this before. We've never worked with Kickstarter codes or things like that. So please bear with us. So we'll see. This was announced via Twitter this week on the Indie World Twitter account. Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut, is coming to Nintendo Switch on October 24th. It's a game about you venturing out to a cabin in the woods and killing the princess in the basement.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to come out this week, but it got delayed a month. So
I just don't know, guys. I don't know. Anyway, Jesse, tell me about this. The Jackbox Survey Scramble. What is this out in next month in October?
This was just announced today. Since this is slotted as an October release, I wonder if this is instead of an 11. So they're actually doing something different. I don't know the full details.
What is Survey Scramble? Now I'm interested.
See, from their webpage, Jackbox has made an all-new party experience, taking real surveys from real people around the globe. The Jackbox Survey Scramble is constantly changing based on answers submitted from players, including you. Invite your friends, families, coworkers, and enemies to see how they think when it comes to questions like, in one word, what's the cutest nickname for butts? Or
Buns.
In one word,
according to Bruce,
what's the best sandwich topping?
Cheese.
Play with your phone or tablet. No special controller required. All games support 2 to 8 players and 10,000 audience members.
I like this. I'm on board for this.
All Jackbox Survey Scramble games can be played in English, French, Italian, German, Castilian, or Latin American Spanish, Brazilian, Portuguese, and we'll be making sure we have localized answers for the UK and Australia as well. Crikey.
Crikey.
So Vegemite will be an answer over there. Yeah, so I like that. I like surveys. I like Family Feud. It sounds like their version of Family Feud almost. I think that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah,
because if they would have gone with their normal pack 11, I probably wouldn't have even bought it because I don't think I played 9 or 10 when I bought those.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because my family kind of doesn't want to play them anymore. But this is a different type of game, so maybe I can get the family's interest again.
Quag311 in the chat says, my next party game will be Use Your Words 2 by Brentalfloss. Use Your Words was actually a pretty fun game.
I think I played that once or twice.
Yeah, so I will definitely check that out. Also, upcoming releases out later. These got some dates this week and also some delays. Lego Horizon Adventures got an official release date of November 14th. That is for PS5 and Switch and PC. That will be launched on the same day. Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. This is the game that kind of looks like Animal Crossing Hobbits. That got pushed back to March 25th. It was supposed to be out, well, I think this month or next month, but it originally was previously delayed to early 2025, but now it actually has a date. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, has been delayed to April 2025. And Decapolice, or Decapolice, however you want to say that, was originally supposed to come out in 2023. Then it was delayed into 2024. Now they say Level 5 says 2026.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so let's just hopscotch a year and go right to 2026.
They're like, forget it. We know we're not going to come out in 2025. Let's just do 2026.
And I went back to the original announcement on the Nintendo Direct in February of 23, and it, that what they showed looked good. It looked so. I'm surprised it's taking 3 more years. Like this is Silksong all over again.
I'm going to make a prediction that Decapolice does not come out on the Switch. It's Switch 2.
That's likely.
Even though the Nintendo Switch logo was at the end of the announcement of the delay, it's not coming out on the Switch. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Anyway, that's our news. Now it's time for us to spin the wheel and make a deal. We're going to find out live right here on the show who is winning a Nintendo Switch Lite Zelda Echoes of Wisdom Edition straight from us. So Tim, can you kind of explain the process for what you've done to make this possible?
Of course I can. I got all the names from Patreon and Twitch, all of our subscribers that we said that we would pull from, and added it to the wheel that if you watch the Gaming Dad and follow along with him, he uses the same wheel. And I've used this wheel before during extra life type things. So I think we've all kind of messed around with this before, but this wheel has everybody on here. 100-something people. Names. There's a lot of names on here.
I've never seen a spinning wheel like that have so many divided segments.
A schwack ton. So
if you're watching the live recording of this, you're actually seeing that wheel right now. And so,
Yes.
like, I want to point out here the impressive thing about this is that when we talk about all of our Patreon followers, our patrons, friends of the
Our
show over on
supporters.
patreon.com, this is what we've got. And
Yep.
that's why we thank you guys every week. And that's why we're so thankful for you is that's a lot of folks. Like
Yes.
the fact that
Yeah.
like,
And
there's more
even
than
the
two.
people who subscribe tonight, while we were doing this on Twitch, I added their names to it.
Wow,
Wow.
look at you. Look at you.
Tim is
So-
Tim is the man.
Yeah.
This reminds
So-
me of the old the gag at the end of most Animaniacs. Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn.
Yes.
Mm.
All right, are
Was
we
there
ready?
132 people are on here. 132
Yeah.
people.
Wag
Has
says the wheel of
subscribed.
enormous proportions.
Yes. The wheel of Switchinity.
So
they're just
once
coming
I
up.
hit spin and it lands on a name, that is the name, unless I miss somebody that's not qualified for it.
If
Well,
they're in the chat, that'd be even more amazing.
that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Let's see what we got
Good.
here. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We're
Everybody
giving away a
ready?
Nintendo Switch Zelda Edition Hyrule. Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition.
Yes.
Out fresh now. We have got one. We are going to give it to a lucky winner. Tim, who is our lucky winner? No whammy, no
Victoria
whammy, no
says
whammy.
no whammies.
And it's spinning. And the name of the winner is C-Dub 5298.
You are a winner.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
C-Dub5298.
A winner is you.
They are, I believe, in our Discord. They've actually dropped a couple of things today that I noticed in regards to
Awesome.
posts. So
Awesome.
We will
C-Dub.
email you, message you / whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
congratulations.
I just like I wanted to have that in hand to show everyone tonight, but it is ready for pickup at my local Best Buy. I just have to walk in and get it. But y'all, this week has been a week from Hades, and so I just didn't get to do it. So I will see a picture, check the Discord, check our X, check our social media
X going
tomorrow.
to give it to you.
Yep, we're going to give it to you on X. So there you go. So congratulations, C-Dub 5298.
Where to go? Winner is
Way to go.
you.
Way to go. So with that being done, let's discuss. Our question of the week this week is inspired by the release of The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And, many of us in the Discord, many of us on our, that follow the show, including many dads on the show, have been around long enough to experience lots of different types of Zeldas. And
Truth.
so I ask this, how do you Zelda? Do you prefer the series in its 2D roots or prefer 3D adventuring better? And you guys showed up and answered. Hoots said Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda I ever played and probably shaped my gaming taste and initiated my loyalty to Nintendo. So 3D all the way. Ninja Lunchbox 79 says I prefer 2D Zelda. I was disappointed in Breath of the Wild, to be honest. It just felt like an okay open world game with a chore simulator shoved in. So it's a terrible Zelda game, but it's an okay open world game. I'd rather play Assassin's Creed. Wow.
That is listen, there's no wrong answer, but that is a hot take that I have not heard before. But again, no wrong answer.
Jesse.
Oh,
is it?
where did that go? That one got buried.
Oh, no. Okay.
Hot take.
There it is. Hey, but you know what? That's his opinion.
Yeah, we
That's his
respect that.
choice.
We respect
It's cool. I get it. I certainly felt like that a couple times in Tears of the Kingdom. Honestly. Jiggy Collector says Ocarina was my first Zelda that I fully understood. I didn't own an SNES to try a 2D adventure first. 3D is my choice in Zelda games. Simon Hawkins says really hard to separate for me. I love both in equal measure. I love the freedom in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but the dungeons in the older titles. As long as Nintendo makes Zelda games, I'm going to play them regardless. C-Dub 5298, our winner chicken dinner. He says, I love the 3D adventuring over the 2D. And unlike the young whippersnappers in here, my first experience with Zelda gaming was on my NES in the 80s. So I've been here since the start of it all. 3D greater than 2D. Darth Platypus says, I do enjoy the 2D, but given the chance, I'd go with 3D Zelda at this point. Shannon Eno says, Zelda is my favorite video game series, and I've played through every game in the series multiple times. Link to the Past is my favorite game of all time. I don't discriminate between 2D and 3D entries, but I will always gravitate toward the 2D games, as that is the era of my youth. I feel the same way about Mario games. Mecha Dragon 101 says, I'm the weird one that likes 2D Zelda. While open world Zelda is cool, I get too overwhelmed by Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that I get some bad choice paralysis. And last but not least, Andy Penizik says, I love them both, but I've finished all of the 3D games except for Majora's Mask, other than Link's Awakening, all versions, and A Link Between Worlds. I don't think I ever completed any of the other 2D games. Hangs head in shame. So, what say you, dads? 2D or 3D?
I think I'm more. I lean more towards 2D. Even though I have finished. I think I finished every 3D game, and the list of 2D games that I have not finished are Seasons, Ages, and Triforce Heroes. But still, I think in general, I'd prefer the 2D.
Yeah. Tim, Justin?
2D, I probably gravitate to more because I feel it's more focused for me, kind of like what Mecca was saying. Feel a little overwhelmed when it's the open world or 3D, so even 3D, even the earlier ones. But I do have to say, Breath of the Wild is probably at the top of my list as far as Zelda goes, but doesn't beat Link to the Past, probably because of nostalgia reasons. But I do gravitate towards the 2D more and feel like I can beat those more easily than the 3D ones.
Yeah, I would probably say 2D is probably my preference. I mean, A Link to the Past. Are you kidding me now? Right? Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening. Obviously, echoes of. They're all like they're all amazing, right? But
Yeah.
like I think that there's something about the 2D Spirit Tracks, like all that, right? Like it's just. I don't know. I think if I was leaning towards one, it'd be the 2D ones. But that's a really tough call. That's a pretty tough
Yeah,
question.
like I think you said it best. Like all of them have been amazing games, right?
Yep.
There's not really a bad one in the whole lot.
Yep.
But I do tend to lean toward 2D, but then I think about Wind Waker. And I think about how that's my favorite Zelda of all time.
Really.
With
Yeah.
Link to the Past right behind it.
Yeah, I still agree. Yeah, Wind Waker is my favorite single Zelda game, but in general, I like the 2Ds more.
And yeah, and I think that when it comes down to it, the what pushes Wind Waker for me is the art style and the story.
Right.
Like that big reveal in Wind Waker is bonkers the first time you go through it. But just for play style, I preferred the 2D games. I mean, Link's Awakening is in my top 3 Zeldas or top 5. So I mean, and I think Echoes of Wisdom is going to be up there because just from what I've played today. So
yeah.
Great response, guys. Thank you all for coming in strong on the question of the week every week. Let's take a time out.
Actually, before we move on, I wanted to. I was talking with my son earlier today about but the latest Zelda games, and I said Breath of the Kingdom and Tears of the Wild, and just the look on his face processing that looked like he was having a stroke in real time.
That's funny.
And then I followed it up with, and yes, I did that on purpose.
Did you read a couple weeks ago that the working name of Tears of the Kingdom for a while was Tears of the Dragon?
I heard of that,
Mm-hmm.
but that would have been a little bit more spoilery.
Makes a lot of sense. So good stuff, guys. Now let's take a timeout.
Do it.
So our timeout this week is going to be a little bit of a negative, and we're going to take a minute to talk about GameStop. And a friend of our community actually brought this to our attention in our Discord. And here's the story. They write, GameStop stole $60 from my 9-year-old today. They had a fully paid pre-order with a receipt in hand, and we were refused our copy of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and refused a refund option due to the fact that the original store that I paid at closed/shut down. I have a voice message from the store that shut down that says to go to this store to pick up our game. I wasted my whole lunch hour and had no recourse. I put something out on Twitter and put in a ticket with corporate, but it probably won't help. I will never shop at GameStop again.
Wow.
I can't imagine. Like that's crazy.
I would have been furious.
I would have too. I do remember when our GameStop shut down here in my town a few years ago. I guess it was a couple years ago. I asked them, I was like, so if I pre-order something here, what happens? And they're like, you don't need to pre-order anything here.
Interesting.
Like it won't swap.
They knew that something bad was going to happen.
And I'll tell you, when I first encountered that, I encountered it first because we moved to Lexington, where I live now, in mid-October of 2012. Does anybody remember what happened in mid-November of the first weekend in November in 2012?
No.
No.
The Wii U launched.
Oh.
I had a fully paid off pre-order for the Wii U at the GameStop near where I lived, but not anymore. And I said, so can I just move that pre-order to my new store since there's a GameStop 5 minutes from my house? And their response was, no. You pre-ordered it here. You have to come pick it up here.
That's ridiculous.
So I don't know whose problem this is right here, but I'm really hoping that GameStop will see it and they will make it right. But I'm also, like our friend at the very end, saying, I don't think anything's going to happen.
This is so in Canada, like when you pre-order at GameStop, you could put down money, or you could not put down money and just say you want the game, and they'll hold it for you. You don't need to actually put anything down. And so that's
the policy at one point to GameStop is you had to put at least $5 down on
here in the US. It had to be at least $5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So like I was just like, no, because I would put down requests for games, but I didn't know if we would get the game, right? So then I would just not show up and get it. So yeah, that's interesting. I had pre-order, and not similar scenario. I had pre-ordered Paper Mario at the GameStop by us, and I went to go pick it up, and then discovered they no longer existed. They were gone. Now I hadn't put down any money, so it was no skin off my back, right? But this is like an absolute ridiculous scenario, and I can't believe that GameStop wouldn't. I'm sure, like, and I shouldn't say I'm sure. It's got to be honored, right? Like someone's gonna pay that or reimburse or something, right? Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like not being well versed in this, like you would assume that with GameStops everywhere, if I pre-order a game at this GameStop, that money's just going to GameStop as a whole.
Yeah.
Right? So they already have this money. So but they should be able to give him a game from somewhere.
But GameStop tracks those stuff at the store level because they judge their employees and their managers on stats. How many pre-orders can you do? How many trade-ins do you do, etc. So, it would be against the store that made the pre-order to move it to another store. So it's still wrong. I agree. It's all wrong, but
do y'all have like loyalty cards there?
Yeah, there's a pro membership there.
Okay.
That gives you no benefits anymore.
You have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's this is
you used to get a magazine for it. That magazine doesn't exist anymore. You used to get extra money for your trade-ins. They nixed that. You used to get discount for buying used games. They nixed that. So what the hell's the point anymore?
Nothing.
I stopped. I've been paying my $15 a year for probably 20 years. I stopped this last year. There's no benefit.
This is that customer service 101 course that everybody gets when you work in customer service. And you get told, if you represent the company bad, that's like 10 times worse than, than whatever, it's a bad, word of mouth, like what we're doing right now. We're telling everybody about the story. Now that's going to be, everybody's just, oh, GameStop still sucks. I guess I'm not shopping there. So that's why we wanted to talk about this story, is because in this situation at this store or these two stores, somebody done messed up, and they need to figure it out. And I hope for GameStop's sake, because I don't want to see them go away like Toys R Us, but if they're going to treat customers like this, that's ridiculous. Then they shouldn't be there. They should not be in business.
Fully okay with them burning.
Yeah. But for me, it's, for my stores that I go to, those employees are cool. I wish they could stay at their jobs. I even thought it would be cool if one day when I'm retired and still want to do something, I would go to GameStop and work there,
You're not. Yeah.
But that's not going to happen.
What, are you retiring tomorrow?
I'm
your
just
time's
saying,
running out.
I'm just saying,
Though I do have a funny pre-order story to end things off on a funnier note. I don't remember what game it was. Maybe it was a Pokemon game, but I did a pre-order and fully paid it off. At the time, I pre-ordered it, and then game came out several months later. The tax rate adjusted, which it does that every quarter, so that's no big surprise. But I had to pay like 11 cents because the tax rate changed. I thought I paid it off, but nope, I still had to pay 11 cents.
So before we move out of this timeout, I wanted to share one that it's just kind of came out today. And that is everybody, if you've listened to the show for a while, you know that Tim and Jesse and I think are big Transformers fans. And I've been a Transformers fan since 1984. First Transformer I ever got was that year. Transformers 1 is out, the brand new movie. If you haven't got to go see it, it's amazing. It's a beautiful animation, but it's actually a really cool story as well. This is for people who may have not been following. It has nothing to do with the live action movies. It is actually a complete retelling, like reboot, retcon of the origin of the Transformers. And really, it's not even that. You just need to go see it. You need to check it out. They did a really excellent job with it.
For the old school fans, there's a lot of just quick.
Oh yeah,
quick, verbiage drops and
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Yeah, that's the word. But if you're not, it doesn't affect the story.
It's still a great movie, even if you're not.
I think I'm not going to say it now. I'm not going to spoil it. But one of the lines from Alito 1, I was laughing.
Oh, there were tons of little gems, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. This is an intersection of Transformers and video gaming that I wanted to talk about, and that is Transformers for the last few years have been doing these things called collaboration series, where they do things like there's a Transformer or like a popular franchise, and they make a Transformer from it. So like the recent one that they did was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Transformer that transformed from the Party Wagon into a robot named Party Wallop.
I so want the Knight Rider one.
Yeah, there's a Knight Rider one.
I want that one so bad.
They've done a Dracula one that transforms from Dracula into a vampire bat. They did a Surfer Boy Pizza one They did like what's his name's pizza delivery van that transforms into Transformer. Anyway, long story short, announced today is the very first Transformers cross Monster Hunter collaboration. Leoleus Prime, which Leoleus is the Japanese name for Rathalos. So basically, it's Rathalos Prime. It's Optimus Prime that transforms into a Rathalos from the game.
That's crazy.
Cool.
Pictures of it are up on my favorite Transformers
Oh
news
my
website,
gosh.
tfw2005.com. You can go check it out. It will be pre-orders launched tomorrow in Japan for around $50. And it is planned for release on July 26th of 2025. I feel like there's probably a pretty good chance this is coming over here, seeing as how on Sony's State of Play, we just saw a lot about Monster Hunter Wilds. It's a big tie-in with that. It looks pretty cool. I'm not a Beast Transformer fan at all, but like it looks really Optimus Prime's got like goggles on his forehead, and Rathalos's head becomes a shield that he can hold, and he has a sword. This is
That's
really
crazy.
cool. And so if you like Monster Hunter, you like Transformers, you're about to get a treat. You can go check out pictures, and hopefully pre-orders for those usually come through if you're an American fan and you want that, even though it looks like it's just a Japanese release now. They've been doing Japanese release pre-orders through HasbroPulse.com, which is Hasbro's own store, and BigBadToyStore.com usually does pre-orders and stuff for those import Transformers as well. You just have to catch them and probably be a little bit more expensive than $50. But anyway, if you really like Monster Hunter and you like Optimus Prime, this is really cool. Leolus Prime will be out next year.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we've been playing, because it's a lot.
Do it.
All right. So, hey, let's just go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way and talk about Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, because all of us have been playing this game today. Jesse and I think, are a little bit farther than Justin and Tim, so we'll keep the spoilers to a minimum. As Justin said in the very beginning, I think the very first hour of this is probably game for us to talk about. So what we'll do is we'll talk our thoughts and some news about it as well. And so if you are wanting to remain unspoiled, then I would just go ahead and skip this. And maybe, Jesse, I know you do notes every week. If you would timestamp when we start talking about this and when we stop talking about this, and that way in the notes people could skip ahead. Would you be able to do that?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So here we go. So Echoes of Wisdom launched today. We're going to talk about our thoughts in a minute. Just a couple of news items we wanted to clean up from this. NSO icons for this are available right now. So the first round of those is available today, and they will go in 4 waves over the next 4 weeks. And so you can get everything from eventually Ganon to a carrot. I don't know why that's a big deal, but there's 2 new ones every week that'll be introduced with some backgrounds and stuff. So if you got some extra platinum coins laying around, you can go
I got them all
and check those out.
I went and got them all.
Cool. I loved it. I think the link render was really good. I'm going to probably go back and get the rest of them. Grezzo was confirmed as the developer for this game, which I think is I think that's an important tidbit, because Grezzo has done a lot with Zelda in the last 10 years or so with Nintendo. I think they've been pretty instrumental in some ports that have come to Switch. But is this? I wanted to ask: is this the first Grezzo Zelda game that is a new game for them?
My understanding is yes.
Well,
So,
let me look
if
something
so,
up.
that's a huge deal. Also, a huge deal, as Jesse's looking that up, is that this is the very first Zelda game in the series that was directed by a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, that's pretty cool. Looking at their Wikipedia page here, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, or no, well, hang on, let me go back. 2011, Ocarina of Time 3D, Grezzo did that. 4 Swords Anniversary Edition, they did that. Majora's Mask 3D, they did that. Triforce Heroes on 3DS, they did that. Then Link's Awakening, they did that. And then Echoes of Wisdom is their very first new Zelda game.
Triforce Heroes is a new game.
Was it?
Yeah, Triforce Heroes.
I'm just
brand new Zelda.
I mean,
game.
I don't mean that to sound weird. Like I'm just not familiar with those games.
It was not a remake of anything. It was a brand new game.
Okay. Cool. Very good. Very good. Anyway, so apparently also Ms. In the chat says if you click the right stick in Echoes of Wisdom. He just says OMG if you click the right stick. So
I haven't done that.
Oh,
yet,
it shifts to like a top down look.
Ah. Okay. Very cool. So guys, let's
mention that in the tutorial.
Right. I have no clue. Let's talk about this game. What are your thoughts?
That's crazy.
What are you thinking so far on Echoes of Wisdom?
So far, like now we're in a bit into it. General statements is this: taking the two, and so it's more. So I would say it's a 2D game. It's 2D Zelda with Tears of the Kingdom tendencies, or is the way I would put it. Right. And I think that's really important. It's not Tears of the Kingdom trying to be a 2D game. It's a 2D game with these tendencies, I think is really great. It back to classic puzzles, dungeons, which is fantastic. Let's kind of be honest as we're, and again, if you've never seen Tears of Kingdom, Echo of Wisdom, right? The trailer or anything, the idea being is that you have the ability to create echoes of things that you find along the way, right? The inventory management system as that is horrible. Like as more things are coming up there, and I can only imagine we're an hour and a bit into this game, and like I've got a full screen. Do you know what I mean? So like trying to find the thing you're looking for, and it reminds me again of Tears of the Kingdom when you're like, oh, am I using Fuse? Like, what is it I'm using? I got to scroll through. That's cumbersome, right? That feels awkward. I don't know how you do that better, but it definitely doesn't feel great. The rest of it, I'm really, really loving. I sort of like love that, you come into a room and how you solved it, Marty, can be very different than how I solved it.
Yes.
Right. And I don't know about you all, but like an hour into the game, my favorite echoes so far, I am rocking rocks and I am rocking beds. Do you know what I mean? Like I am making steps out of beds and I am throwing rocks at people. Right. Yep. That is sort of my default right now. And then as you're kind of moving forward further and further along, you obviously are getting more echoes from there.
I ended up upgrading to a P-hat as my primary weapon.
Sorry, which one?
A P-hat.
Okay. Yeah. And so, and every time you defeat an enemy, all of a sudden now that's part of your inventory. Right. And so that's really cool. And certain ones, you have a certain amount of energy. Each of them takes a certain amount of energy. Right. So you're not able to just like spam everything. So I think that's a really cool strategy. I love that sort of like when you do get a new echo or something, you're like, and then you're in a space, you're like, okay, how do I solve this problem? You're like, well, they just gave you a new echo dummy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not to be too like spoilery, there's a spot relatively early on, you're in a cave and there is a treasure chest up a layer up, and you're like, how do I get up there? So I'm like, I'll put a box, and then I'll put a small box, and I'll put a trampoline, and that doesn't fit. And I'm like, didn't you just get a spider web thing a moment ago? That could make, I'm an idiot. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's
I kind of went through the same process.
Yeah. And so it does this great thing, and very similar to Tears, which is you both feel incredibly intelligent and incredibly stupid all in the same 60 seconds. Do you know what I mean? It does that thing really well. Yeah, I'm absolutely like loving it. It's a ton of fun. I think, we all talked on the pre-show. We're like, that's the thing I just keep thinking about. Mm-hmm. Right. Is like, let's go back playing it. Yeah, like it's awesome. I'm loving it so far. Maybe it's me. I found, sorry, I apologize. Maybe it's the fact I was on a monitor. I could definitely start to see like a little bit of pixelation a little bit more than it feels like we're not pushing the Switch, but it definitely doesn't feel as smooth as potentially some other graphics. But like that, yeah,
mine had a little jagginess in the frame rate. Like especially like when I came out of a room, or when I brought up the menu and then chose something and then went back, like started back to the game after closing the menu. That was the only time I noticed that. But I like, as far as the technical aspect of it, I really think that this is a great look for Zelda. And I love this art style, and I hope we get more games like this.
Yes.
Yeah, the one I didn't notice any frame or resolution changes. It might have happened and I missed it, or maybe I didn't see it yet. But the one thing I did notice that I'm kind of not a fan of is on the bottom of the screen. It does the same kind of fuzzy look, like that's what they did with the Link's Awakening remake. It isn't quite so warped, but it's still not just filter free. I would rather just have it filter free.
So a couple of things I wanted to point out is I was on the fence going into this because I was like, well, if it's just Zelda and Zelda just has this ability to echo and copy stuff, then is it going to feel really difficult? Like, am I going to feel really underpowered when I come up on enemies or whatever? And so far I've not. Justin, you've got your rocks. I have my sea urchins
Okay.
that I build protective walls out of that hurt charging enemies.
I killed the first ropes. I just threw a spiky out there and just let it kill itself.
By the time I killed the first ropes, I had flaming fire Zal. And so I just put the Zal down in the grass. It set fire to the grass and killed all the snakes in the grass.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did too, because I was like, those things are dumb.
Yep. So they didn't even move. They didn't even lunge at me. I just burnt them all. Yep. But the where the game really started clicking for me, and I mean I was already into it, but and for Tim, for you and Justin, if this is a little, I'm sorry, they showed this off in a trailer, so I don't feel like it's super spoilery. There's a secondary ability that Tri has, which is the bind ability. Yeah. And that bind ability allows you to throw Tri and like move stuff after that. And not only does it move stuff, but you actually play with like spatial, like if you jump, the item comes with you.
Yeah.
Or if you go up an
incline, the bind works in three different. Yeah, the bind works in 3 dimensions.
The bind also, you can target things, hit them with bind, and then hit the R button. And then Zelda is now just hanging from that thing and moving along with whatever you've binded to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a clever little.
That figures into the first dungeon's boss. And that boss fight was so much fun. I loved that boss fight. And what I loved about it too was there is a subtle shift that you could start that I've started to see in like the Zelda lore, in the Zelda naming of things, in the Zelda imagery, where Breath of the Wild and names from Breath of the Wild and things have really started to filter in and influence future Zelda games. Like, like just for instance, like a Talus is now, that is like an established enemy now in Zelda. Right. Not it, where before it wasn't. It was like, oh, it's a giant rock monster.
Yeah.
No, it's a Talus now. So there's all kinds of things. And like, I'm just having so much fun finding all of the stuff and like figuring out ways to get up into places and copy enemies. I really thought that you were just going to be able to copy anything in this world and you were going to have analysis paralysis, or I was going to have analysis paralysis. Like, I've got a bookshelf copied and I've got some stairs and I've got a rock and I've got this person. No, that's not the way they do it. They handle it smartly. And the way that they do it is items on the screen glow if you can copy them.
Yep.
Which I thought was really cool. And so it's just a lot of systems overlaid working together, and it's all really done really intelligently and intuitively. The movement feels great in this game. The music, nobody's mentioned this yet. Like, just the subtle undertones in the music. Like you don't go out into the world and like it's immediately blaring the overworld theme. Like it's just woven in there. You get to different villages and things, and the music changes. It's just God. It's I I told the guys coming into this, like I did not expect anything from this game. And so I had, I guess, what you could call high hopes, low expectations. And
Yep.
I have been blown away in what I've played. And I cannot wait to pick my Switch back up and play it again. Love it.
I agree with everything you just said there. And some of the things too that blew me away from the very beginning was the fact that if you saw the announcement of this game and any of that video of, we saw like, who's that hooded person? Oh, it's Link. But you're not playing Link because you just freed Zelda, after the fight, and he got swallowed up into the void or whatever. And then you're like, oh, okay, you're playing Zelda. When you start this game, there is so much more into that they didn't show, and you're just like, okay. All right.
It very much reminded me of Tears opener.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was like, this, hold on, this feels very familiar in some ways.
Yeah, I had people hop in the chat like 5 minutes in, and they're like, "You got 20 hearts already? What's going on?"
Yeah, because it's using it as a tutorial. So it was like, wow, that is a great way to use it as a tutorial, just to get used to it. But like you said, Tears of the Kingdom type thing. So I thought I was impressed by that. And then also one thing that stood out to me that I'll just say without trying to spoil anything, Impa and Yoda have a lot in common.
Yes, they do.
Because I was just like, oh my gosh, that was cool.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it yet because it's after you don't learn it until after the first dungeon, but there's something different about this Impa versus previous Impas. So I'll just stop there.
Yep. Awesome. And then the other thing too that I really liked is that, yes, we all acknowledge that this is a 2D Zelda, but it's that isometric, version of it until you get to certain parts of the game where it's actually flat 2D, which is like really cool as well.
Yeah, like going into caves and like stairwells in dungeons.
Yes.
Goes into a 2D view just like the original Zelda 1 dungeons when you went downstairs. And like the Game Boy one.
Yeah, I really liked that. I think that's a neat little
I don't know why I'm blanking
change. And no one has mentioned this yet, but
Link's Awakening.
There is a
Jesse was talking about
dedicated jump button.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it feels right. Right? I mean, it feels good.
Yeah, that surprised me when the tutorials told me to push B to jump. I'm like, Link can jump? Really? Wow. That's new.
Yep. And it just works.
At least not without an item equipped. That's kind of the last thing I wanted to mention. And again, a little bit of a spoiler for the first dungeon. So if you don't want to hear it, cover your ears. But
la. Oh wait, sorry, that distraction.
This does go back to 2D dungeon roots, and I am so happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not really spoiler. That's what we all were hoping for. So that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one of the other things too is that right before we started the show, and the reason why I was a little bit late was I was messing around with the amiibo functionality. I'm not quite sure if each amiibo gives specific things yet, or if it's randomized. And I also learned that you only get 3 amiibo hits a day. So not like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom where you could just unload amiibos and get supplies.
Or I can do like all 35 cards.
Right, yeah. So, and the other thing is I got monster parts with it, but I don't know if there's also a variety of surprises. Like in 10 and 20 amiibo hits, you get like a hat or something, or a new outfit or something. I don't know if that happens yet. And I didn't try searching anything yet to see if
Nintendo's website says that you get in-game rewards like smoothie ingredients and certain outfits in alternate colors.
Okay.
Ooh, certain
So it
outfits and
does.
alternate colors.
There we go. And I forgot about the smoothie thing. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Justin, about, the timestamping start and back. I'm not going to be able to give exact timestamps because I don't know the length of ads being embedded beforehand.
Sure.
So I'll just say, if you don't want spoilers, jump 15 minutes
Yeah,
ahead
that's
or
fine.
whatever that measurement goes being.
Yeah.
I'll kind of record a little thing and embed it in there before I
Awesome.
submit it.
Well, I think that we can kind of move on from this. I would just say that I think from all of us that we would definitely recommend this game. It's definitely one that
100%.
we feel like I like to. It's been a breath of fresh air, for me at least. To just the gameplay at least part of it. Highly recommended. You should go check it out, especially if you're a Zelda fan. Even if 3D Zelda is your jam, you may really enjoy this. And so definitely go and try it out.
I'm very curious where this is going to end up in our Game of the Year conversation.
Oh yeah. Yep. I need to finish it first. And speaking of games, let's talk about what we've been playing. Tim, we'll head over to you first. What have you been playing?
Sure. Other than, what I just started with Echoes of Wisdom, I also started Yars Rising. That's the game Jesse got through 99% of. And it is a very Metroidvania game, and I'm enjoying every minute of it, and I'm glad I picked it up. So but it's going to be put on hold because of Echoes of Wisdom probably, but I'm hoping to jump back into it once we're done. Also, played more Balatro because it's an easy game just to jump into and play, and knock out some more of those levels that I haven't been able to knock out yet. So I've been able to clear some of that. And then Atari 50th came out with a new DLC, The Wider World of Atari, and I booted that up, got it started. I 100%ed the game before and / documentary. I got through all the documentary stuff and played a few of the games and stuff like that. So the new DLC gives more video content, more documentary content, more reading content, along with new games like Berserker. They added to this DLC to this game. So I'm hoping to jump into that a little bit this weekend. It's good. It's a good kind of like go to bed and play rather than probably Zelda, because I don't want to get all, hyped up before trying to go to sleep. So maybe the Atari 50th would be better. There is another DLC coming in November that I understand, that goes more in depth on the Atari stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this timeline for Atari. And again, they are going to re-release the game physically as well, with both the DLC content and the original content all on one cartridge as well for the holidays. So if you're into that, keep an eye on that. And I think it's a really good nostalgia trip, especially if you played Atari games or in Atari games, or if you haven't and you just want to get a history of, there probably Nintendo would not be Nintendo if it wasn't for what Atari went through. So
Very much so.
I think it's a good history lesson if you're into that kind of thing as well. So check out Atari 50th if you're interested. That's what I've been playing.
Cool. Jesse, what about you?
Right. So in addition to Zelda, I finished the Plucky Squire. I played that on PlayStation, but I rolled credits. I didn't 100% everything. Like there were these like 10 little duck-like creatures around the game that
Glitch
to find.
birds.
I found 6 of them. There are 50 pieces of art. I think I got 36 or 7 of them. So it'll and there's one particular trophy to do. This I mentioned this game has a lot of little mini games throughout. In order to get this trophy, you've got to do one specific mini game successful on the first try. And I'm like, I'm not going to replay a chapter just to do that. No.
Wow. That's
Or at
dumb.
least since I finished that chapter, I'd have to start over the game just to try to get it. I'm not going to do that. But I enjoyed it. It's going to be on my top 10 list somewhere. Apparently, there's a game-breaking bug in Chapter 6 that one of our people on Discord talked about. I didn't I didn't stumble into it, but sounds like he did. Though I did come across, normally when we say the game bugged, it's, the game crashed and we have to start over. But there was one particular logic bug that I came across where, like, you have the ability to, like, partially close the book. So while it's tilted up, objects will fall down into the other page. And then so you can do that to move objects around from side to side. And then one of the things you have when you're outside the book is called a stop stamp, that you stamp a big old red hand on the book, and that object doesn't move. So there was an section with 3 sliding boxes. I had two of them up against each other. I wanted to keep the one on the furthest right there and then slide the other one to the other side of the page. So I stop stamped the right one, and when I lifted up the book to nothing moved. So I had to manipulate more, so I think that's a logic bug in the game.
Yeah.
I think that should have moved. I had to find another way to do what I needed to do. I was eventually able to do it to finish that map. But other than that, I didn't come across any significant glitches.
Okay.
So yeah, I enjoyed it.
So I've been playing this one as well. And it's a good segue over because Justin's just been playing Echoes of the Kingdom. I did it again, Echoes of Wisdom. This will not be on my top 10. I wanted to love this game so much, but in the end, I was just playing it to be done with it. There were several things about it that were really annoying to me. And I've heard other people say the same. Number one is that the game I don't think ever really lets you play it because of how many times it stops to do an interlude where there's a voiceover and it reads part of the book to you, or there's a story. And like, it's not just, hey, you could go up to this person and talk to them and get what you need. No, they make you stop and make you have this conversation, or let's stop and see what's going on in this page or whatever. I played this on Switch, and I would say that it does have performance issues on the Switch. There were multiple times where I had to cancel out of the game and come back in because I was switching perspectives in the 3D portions of the game, and it just didn't move. The camera did not move with the character. So I was in a new part of the map, and I'm staring out a window. So I had to quit the game and come back in, and a couple of times that led to me having to redo parts that I'd already done.
Ouch. Yeah, there was one near the late game where I talked to an NPC, and the chat bubble was literally off book.
Yeah. The other thing is that there are mini games like Jesse's talked about. There's a rhythm-based mini game with one of the characters. I
like that one.
There is a Puzzle Bobble-esque mini game with the other, which is awful.
I did not like that one
because there's no logic to how you get the colors that you shoot to pop the bubbles. So there were times that I would get stuck needing a certain color and just having to lose because it's just not coming up, and I'm having to pile up bubbles somewhere else.
Yeah, I've never had a lose, but there was times when I wanted the blue and it would just give me reds and greens. That's what happened. The other thing is about it is no upgrade in this game that I spent money on ever made me feel like Jot ever got more powerful.
Yeah, I was sort of noticing that as well.
Yeah,
because the start of the game, it takes 3 hits to kill a goblin. after you've supposedly maxed out your sword, 3 hits to kill a goblin.
Yep.
It's like the
And
enemies are scaling with you, which means there's no
yes.
reason for it for progress to occur.
Yeah, so there's no reason for you to pick up all the light bulb tokens and spend them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The final boss was the final part of the final boss. You have to fight 3 times, and it gets really tedious.
Yeah, and I've complained about that on 2 previous other games, how I don't like that type of gameplay in a final boss, and they did it here too.
Yeah.
And
So
Tim knows what I'm talking about because I just saw him smile.
the thing is that if you like Zelda, especially 2D Zelda, then I think that there's some things that you will like about this game. So I don't want to be super harsh about it. It just did not land with me the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
And
It also helps if
in the
you're
end-
And for clarity, folks, what he's referring to there is the Plucky Squire when he's referring to
Yes.
the 2D Zelda.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Also, if you've played other older NES games like Punch Out, like rhythm games like Guitar Hero, you'll get a kick out of those mini games. If you've never played those, and
Yeah.
you might be confused about what you're supposed to do.
I mean, I did think that it's a well-written game. I think that the story is good.
Yeah,
there were some-
that percussion mini game reminded me of something we would have seen in like not like Wario. No, not. It's a rhythm game on it was on Wii and Wii U, I think. It's not Lead Beat Agents. What am I thinking of?
Rhythm Heaven.
Rhythm Heaven. Yes. It's very Rhythm Heaven.
It was very Rhythm Heaven heavy. I mean, like, I would give this game a solid 6 out of 10, 5 to 6 out of 10. And I would highly like, I would more highly recommend it if Echoes of Wisdom hadn't just come out.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
it's you should if you should have played it before.
Yes.
Like I wanted to play the game and finish it before Zelda came out because I knew it was going to take the back burner.
yeah, so I finished it today, and then immediately booted up Echoes of Wisdom, like, because I was waiting to start it until I finished. Thankfully, I'd gotten to a point in the Plucky Squire where all I had left to do was the final boss fight, like walk in the room and do that. But again, at the end, I'm just glad that it's over with.
Did you play adventure mode or story mode?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the first option you were given. Adventure mode is normal and story mode is easy.
I played normal. Okay.
So did
Adventure mode. A couple other games I've been playing. I'm just going to buzz through real quick. I've got videos of the Nintendo Switch games I'm about to mention on our YouTube channel. Played BZZZT. BZZZT. It's like a robotic Meat Boy. You're playing. You're a robot, and the lab has been attacked, and you're having to escape. Very twitchy, platformy goodness. So if you really like that, soundtrack is amazing. The art is pixel art's really great too. So if you like those type of games, definitely check out BZZZT. And then totally different from that is a game called Caravan SandWitch that is about a girl and her van going on cozy adventures across a alien planet. There's no and the game literally says this, like the advertisements for the game, the page for the game. There's no combat, there's no timers, there's nothing to push you forward, like to make you feel stressed. This is a game just for you to come and play and chill out. And that's what it does. It's really interesting. It's like almost, I want to say like a visual novel, but not like with more gameplay than your normal visual novel.
Is it, and there was a game that you played, Sail something. There was where you were a boat and you're really excited about it and it was super chill and you liked it. It was, oh my God. They had a sequel to it also.
Ark?
No, there was another, it was like some sail, like some
Lone Sails.
Lone Sails. Is that it?
That's Ark. Yeah. That's
where it's like very artistic, right? Like sort of,
Yeah.
and okay, is it sort of like that? Like because Ark wasn't really
Far Lone
Far.
Sales.
That's Far, and
Far.
there's
Yeah,
two
yeah.
of them. Yes and no. In Far, there are some things that can kill you and make you restart different things. This
Okay.
is just you are wandering around and like helping people
Okay.
and uncovering like why this girl left this planet and why she was on a space station when it started, and you know, like uncovering the history of all these characters, and why the planet is the way it is. You know, so I really like it. I mean, like I think it's one of those games like you can put on some lo-fi music, make a cup of tea or coffee, curl up on the couch, play it for a little bit, move on. You know,
Nice.
so I definitely recommend it. It is out on other platforms. And there are, I mean, like, y'all, at this point, games that are developed multi-platform struggle a little bit on the Switch. This is no exception. But so if you want more of a graphically fun, you know, intense version of this, which it's not, it's like animated, cell shaded type stuff. So not really a big deal. Other two games I just want to shout out is I picked up Astro Bot for PS5, and it may I'm going to say this right now, it may be my game of the year.
There you go.
It's that good. It is really, really good. It's like I'm not even like a huge PlayStation fanboy, but this is awesome. It is a
Nice.
love letter to PlayStation. So good. The way that that game uses the controller, like the ability for it to project sound and feelings, is just amazing. I want
That's
more
awesome.
games like this. So creative. Like serious Mario Galaxy / Mario Odyssey vibes.
And they've got more
Wonderful.
DLC coming out too. Free
Yes,
DLC coming.
and like y'all, it just like there's a smile on my face every time I play it. It's so good. And then I also picked up Star Wars Outlaws, which I'm really struggling with because I'm not really good at stealth
So is
gameplay.
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I'm not really good at stealth gameplay. I'm at a point like already where I'm stuck because it's a stealth thing and I suck at it, and I just want to play the game. Like I just want to I do like it is very much makes you feel like you're in Star Wars, right? It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just don't do well with stealth, and that is necessary in this game. Like you can't hope to go in like think about it this way. Like in Batman, in the Arkham games, you could do stealth, but eventually your goal is you're Batman, so you're going to go in there and you're going to wreck everybody, right? That's
Yep.
the goal. In this game, it's you have a blaster and a little creature, and you have to stealth your way through a thing and get the thing and then get back out. And if you kill one or two people, great. But the end goal is not you're going to put all 10 of these Imperial guards to sleep, stormtroopers to sleep. It's just you need to survive long enough to do your thing and then get out. And making my mind make that shift is just not, I'm always getting seen. It just, yeah. Anyway, I like the game. I think it's a good game. I do think maybe I wish I would have waited until it went on the obvious sale that it's going to go on around Black Friday.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's
Yeah.
possible.
And Ubisoft announced recently that it soft missed, I believe is the word they said, their expectations for it.
Nothing
So-
soft about that miss.
Yeah, like that means that you were close, but not quite.
Yeah.
So
Put it on
they're-
sale and,
with-
and people will start buying it because they were
That-
waiting for that anyways.
And then that with them delaying Assassin's Creed to next year, that's going to hurt this year's financials.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Prince of Persia did not have the financial success they wanted it to as
Yeah,
well.
like-
It was critically acclaimed. It was more
Like it was only played by journalists, but no normal person played it.
Prince of Persia.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh! If you talk to people about Prince of Persia, like who played it, it's in their usually top games.
right. But only journalists and podcasters played it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Most people did not.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love it. Well, guys.
Well, before you go on,
Yeah.
I was going to go back to the thing where you were talking about Plucky Squire. And again, I asked this in the last show. You were not on, Marty, when Jesse was talking about Plucky Squire, and it reminds me of a lot when you guys talk about it, about RPG Time Legend of Right. So Jesse, since you finished the game, I'll ask you again, which game do you think is better between those two? Legend of Right or
I
Plucky
don't
Squire?
remember much about Legend of Right, but
Okay.
I'm kind of leaning toward that one might have been the better game. It was definitely the longer game.
Legend of Right was a little longer, definitely. But
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, being short or long.
Yeah.
A game could be whatever length it wants to be to do what it wants to do. But yeah, I agree with what Marty said about near the end of Plucky Squire is it gets really chatty and it steals your controller away from you a little bit too much.
Okay.
But so I think between the two, I liked both games, but between the two, I think I liked the
Legend of
other one
Right.
better.
RPG Time Legend of Right. Yeah. I haven't played Plucky Squire, but Legend of Right was in my top games for that year. And I
believe
highly
it was for
recommend
me as well.
I highly recommend that one. If you like Plucky Squire or you think it could be done better, I highly recommend checking out RPG Time Legend of Right, because
RPG Time is really good. I never finished it, but I need to get back to it. Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I like how they did that game, and it's definitely one that is, I think, a sleeper for a lot of people. So, okay.
Yep.
That's why I just wanted to mention that.
Well, that's fine. Hey, recommendations would make them. That's good. That's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
All right, this is where we always shine the light on our community, and thanks for everybody who stopped in today, especially those who haven't been here for a while, like Venom NYC stopped in. So shout out to him. Mecha Dragon stopped in, and let's see what Vic stopped in, Ms. Some guy named Laffer, Nimfrendo, just a bunch of people, especially early on. Just being Bruce was in here. Let me scroll real fast up there. So we got, and also Mr. Badbit from our PlayStation Trophy Room.
Yeah,
They've been here before. He was in here checking, saying hello. So that was really cool. And let's see, Nuke the Ben was here. Shine was here. So thank you everybody who jumped in. And Friendo, I think you're still hanging out. And so thank you. Beer was here. So yes, thank you everybody, and Tech Mike. So I apologize if I missed your name in the list there, but thank you for always stopping in the chat and hanging out with us. And everybody just chit-chatting in there, talking about what we're talking about, which is really cool to see. And yeah, everybody's saying, I'm here too. I said your name, Mecca. Didn't I say Mecca at the beginning? I did. All right. So also just want to remind everybody about our gaming streams. Again, we don't have a set schedule when we stream, but always, follow us and subscribe to us on our channels, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and you'll find out when we drop something there, especially when we go live. Like Jesse last night when he went live with the new release of Echoes of Wisdom, because he hacked the Japan store and got the game, So no, he didn't really. Nintendo, please don't send the ninjas after us.
I was gonna say you are messing with something you don't want to mess with, Tim.
Right?
Don't go throwing that on us.
I have the receipts. I bought it legitimately.
Yes. No hacking. We don't do that. All right. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up too was that we actually are having another monthly mayhem, but this time it's the Halloween mayhem. Thanks for the blessings from the Dads After Dark crew. They let us run with the Halloween mayhem they did last year and the year before. Since everybody had a good time with it, we're doing that again, where you submit a Halloween themed photo in our Discord channel, the Halloween Mayhem channel. You could do photos, videos, reviews, or more. You submit an entry there. Multiple submissions are welcome. They will be judged. by surprise judges on basically spookiness, creativity, and on Nintendo stuff too, if there's any Nintendo type stuff involved there.
Nintendo-ness.
Yes, the Nintendo-ness. First place will get a $15 eShop card. Second place will get a $10 eShop card. And then we'll do a lottery of every entry that went in. So if multiple entries, you'll get a lottery and the winner will get $10. And who knows, whatever Justin decides to say randomly, say, yeah, let's throw some more money at them. So
that's true.
We never know if there might be more prizes involved, but that's what we have set for this time. So the contest goes from October 1st through November 4th. Again, this is Halloween Mayhem, and we want to have a good time where everybody's showing off their Halloween fun with their families and with all the photos and videos and reviews and blah, blah, blah. So that is posted in our Discord as well. So if you want to check again what it is that we're doing, you can see that there on those channels I mentioned. And then also we gave away our Switch Lite today. So we do contests like this and we'll have more, especially celebrating our 500 episodes in 10 years. I was going to say 500 years, but I caught myself.
It does feel like that sometimes, doesn't it?
So there's a lot of prizes, some mystery boxes that we'll be giving away. Can't tell you what's going to be in them. If you're watching, you might see one example of one of them. But you'll get a mystery box full of different prizes with Nintendo Dad merch, plus some Nintendo merch that we stick in there, plus cracked controller, the Nitro decks. We have the pluses that one, actually 2 of the 5 will have a Nitro deck plus in there. So if you're a lucky winner, we don't know who that will be because it'll be mystery box. Because once I put the things in the boxes and we do a drawing of our subscribers of, again, Twitch and Patreon, those 5 boxes will go out randomly, those people, and they'll hopefully tell us, hey, I was the winner of the Nitro Deck Plus, and then you'll get that.
Just don't, Tim, as you pack those up, don't put your thing in a box.
Right. Don't put mine in there.
All right. Yeah, we're not that type of show.
No, I won't do that. I won't put my thing in the box. So we don't want to get in trouble for that either. All right. And again, so you get, for all those who subscribed, we're not done yet giving away things. So if you haven't subscribed yet, or if you feel like you missed out on that Switch Lite, Zelda Switch Lite, we still got more prizes to give. So thank you again for those who subscribed, and thank you for all who pass us along to others and follow us and all that kind of stuff. All right, we got a few questions in the community we'll go over, and then we'll be done and wrap up the show. So starting with Sparky, I just wanted to share a thought I had this week. I have almost been listening to the show and been a Patreon for most of its 10 years. Wow. I remember taking my boys to an after-school drama class when I first started listening. It lasted for about 45 minutes, so I would drop them off and then pop on the show and take a walk before I returned to pick them up. The boys were 9 and 6 then. Jump forward almost 10 years and a decade of enjoying your show and the chemistry and energy you share each week to this week when we dropped off my eldest James at Bath University. Where did those 10 years go? It's been such an emotional few days and continues to be for us all. They say it goes quickly, but boy, doesn't it. Hard to get a grip on it, to be honest, but I'll continue to listen to your wonderful show each week and look forward to hopefully sharing another 10 years with you all, wherever life's journey may take me. So keep up the great work and enjoy the ride. I am happy for you to share my thoughts if you wish on the show. Thanks, Sparky, and best wishes from Sparky to us.
Wow. That's awesome.
Isn't it amazing what happened in the last 10 years? We all kind of grew up together, right? So
yeah, there is a bit of it, right? Like 10 years is like a hard thing to really contemplate and to kind of like put in consideration, right? Like for me, you know, I'm 43, meaning just shy of a quarter of my life has been this.
It's crazy.
That doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? Like before I started this, I did not have nearly as much gray hair.
Look, even Matthew now, you know, he'll realize, oh, this thing is 15 years old now. Oh boy, I'm feeling old already, and he's only 24,
right?
Or 25.
And I think
24.
like that's one of the one of the really interesting things that I sort of love about this show in some ways, and I think also maybe probably what might be challenging to some, because I think sort of Nintendo dads, like when we started it, like my oldest was 6 and my youngest was 4. Right. So the experiences I had as a father that we were all having, except for Jesse, because he was a little bit older, he was kind of the elder statesman, kind of was this like if you get on here, you sort of journey with us. Right. And in a lot of ways, the journey that you're experiencing with us is we are now matured as fathers and dads, and our challenges are different. It's no longer sleepless nights because baby can't sleep. It's sleepless night because they're out partying, right? And they're doing all, and are they getting prepared? Like all those things. Like, so it's an interesting kind of thing, because I think if you're a new subscriber to Nintendo Dads, you might hear like, yeah, they don't really talk about parenting as much, right? Or they don't talk about what it's like to have a 3-year-old. And that's the season I am in my life, so I can't relate to this the same way. And so I think it's interesting because I think it's sort of shifted some of our content a little bit as well in the conversations that we have, right? It used to be very much like I used to be able to, when we get codes, hey girls, do you want to play? And like, let's have the girls review these games. And like, great example. And I'll be like fully transparent. We got an email recently from a sponsor who wanted to do, I think it was like Barbie. Would you do a sponsored stream of Barbie? And I was like, that's really cool, but I don't think that fits us anymore the same way as it used to, because none of you probably want to do a sponsored stream of Barbie. But if we had, when Morgan was like 5 or 6, I bet you she'd love that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But when Gary was his daughter was around 6 at the time, that would have been perfect.
100%, right? So even like the content that we're reviewing, and I think
I don't know, my daughter might still want to do it. Okay. She's 19.
Okay, there you go. But like I think it's interesting because I think how we've journeyed, how we've grown, how we've changed in those 10 years, not only from a host perspective and the format and the community, but I think that's the interesting thing about our community is it's sort of like where you join this community is probably where you sort of are with your family, where you are as a dad in that journey, and how you have changed as a father, how you have hopefully grown, the challenges that you've gone through, the ups and downs of life that you've gone through. And I think that's a really interesting sort of corner of the internet that we didn't really anticipate, right? Like when we started 10 years ago, it was just like a bit of shits and giggles. It was a bit of fun, right? Like in no way was I like, oh yeah, we're legitimately still doing this, and like my kid's going to graduate in next year.
I love how you said that and immediately watched Jesse turn and begin to write.
That's one of my favorite things, is just to watch him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think my oldest was a sophomore in high school when we started this, and now she's married.
And the other really interesting thing is like you look around also sort of a little, and again, we're not on episode 500. You look around like some of the podcast space as well of like the people that we grew up with, right? So like the mega dads have kind of grown into they're coming up to 10 years also. You look at like some other podcasts, like What's Good Games has actually like gone through their entire cycle, and they're actually having their last episode this month, I believe, right? Like you can kind of see the rise and fall of shows and just because of different parts in people's lives. It's a very interesting thing. It's sort of like a graduating class in some ways, right? We were the class of the 2014 podcasters, right? And we've all sort of gone in different ways and matured in different ways. And that's almost the season that you have to look at it. It's very weird, I would say, to be doing this for 10 years. I don't know. That's my context to it.
It's very weird to be doing it for 10 years, but I've only been here for 7 years of it. Here, there's like a 3-year gap or a 3-year blank space where it was you and Zach and Jesse.
Yeah,
and I like there's this foundation that you 3 built, but I think that probably a good number of people who listen to us now, that the number of people who were there at that time is dwindling, and new people are coming in who know this iteration of Nintendo Dads. They don't even know Justin is up at 5 a.m. in Ireland having tea while the sun comes up in the background in the blinds while we're talking about the Switch or Gary or whoever. They don't even know
Right.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think back. Like I was 37 when I started on the show.
Yeah.
You know, my kids were 10 and 9.
Yeah.
And now they're 17 and 16, and I'm having to let go of my daughter. Like she's driving now.
Yep.
Like she has her driver's license, and I'm not okay with that.
I had a boy show up at our house last week and picked up my oldest daughter to go to a hockey game together, not as a date, but as friends. I say bull on that one. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, I legitimately started to have like a weird like
Did you take him? Did you take him down to the basement and be like, "Let me show you my Nintendo gun collection"?
let me tell you this. He didn't even get out of the car and come to the door. Now they're just friends, what I'm being told. But I stood in my kitchen as we have bay windows and she gets in the car and she drives off and I just stood there for like a minute and I just yelled to Jody, Jody, I'm not okay with this. Right? This is not okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not okay with the whole like my daughter now goes to her room and spends all her time there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not okay
Yeah.
with that. But well, and like we've watched our families change. We've watched podcasts around us change. We've watched, and I mean, we're going to talk a lot about this on episode 500. I know, but
Yeah.
man, to think that someone has been listening that long to this is pretty incredible.
I'd be really curious. Like if you're in the chat right now, you can, raise a hand or something. Like, have you been around since like the OG, like within the first year is what I'm going to say. Right. That would be interesting to know like what, or even if, hey, if you're listening to this, just let us know, send us a tweet or an email. Like, yeah, I've been listening for 10 years, right? Like whatever that looks like. Cause I'm going to be honest. I haven't even listened to this thing for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, oh man. Yeah. It's different times for sure.
Yes.
I think that's a good
great.
segue into our next question.
Yep.
Cool.
And that's also just a reminder that we are looking for feedback too on stuff like that. Just to hear what it's been like for your experience to listen, not just to us, but what you've listened to over that time. Especially if you've listened for that long or even half that time for 5 years, let's say. Like if you've been listening to us for that long, but you've also listened to other things and then they've dropped off and we're still here, kind of curious about that. So
I sometimes love like the just looking over the chat with like no contextualization, right? So Teddy 4K, Cowboys 1, Mecca, meanwhile, my life is the exact same and it sucks. Ninfrendo, thumbs up, right? And Ninfrendo is probably thumb upping the question I said, have you been listening to 10 years? And so it just looks like my life sucks. Thumbs up to you, right? Like
nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Someone says I've been listening since 2015. Used to keep me company at my old job. Holy cow. Nuke the Ben. Oh my god. Yeah, I remember that name.
Yeah,
Holy cow. Man, that's
love
awesome.
it.
Thank you for
Love
being
it.
here.
That's awesome. So Mecca, actually, who was talking about his life hasn't changed much, he said, can we teach him how to drive?
Absolutely not.
Agreed. I've done that twice. I'm done.
My daughter has yet to allow me to get in the car and drive with her. She said, and like I would be like, I promise I won't yell at me. And she looked at me, she was like, gave me the like, yeah, right, Dad.
Yeah.
So Erin has done all of the driving teaching and she's done a fantastic job with it. So
we would be expensive.
I'm not just saying that because she's milling around in the room behind me here.
Sure,
we
sure,
would be
yeah.
expensive instructors anyways, because you would have to pay for us to fly out there and teach you.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I think our youngest was actually the first to get her license, and her mom, my wife, taught her how to drive, mainly because she learned to drive a stick. Her current car is a stick, and I can't drive a stick. So
Yeah,
therefore, the older two do not know how to drive sticks because I taught them how to drive.
Yeah, quick note, when you're young, learn how to drive a stick first. All right. If you can learn how to drive stick, then you're grand after that. That's the hard one, right? So like learn that and then go from there.
We had
I've
that
had-
discussion in Discord actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
in our Discord?
I've had 3 people try to teach me a stick, and so if I had to do it out of an emergency, I could. I wouldn't like it, and I'd rather not.
Living in Ireland, most vehicles were stick. Like that was the majority. And so to find a vehicle so when we were over there living and I had to buy a vehicle, I was like, wrong side of the road, wrong side of the car. I am not also learning stick on the other hand. I'm like, that's a stretch too far. So I remember
Jason in our community was mentioning that too.
Yeah, I was like, we're not doing that. I was like, so I remember oh, I need to search for a new vehicle. And so you go like whatever your car search program is, right? And I'd put in like automatic and it went from like 3,000 cars available to like 5. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it has to be one of these 5 cars is what I have to buy because that's pretty much all I have. So,
right.
Yeah. Oh, electric cars don't have sticks. That's a good point. Is that right? Yeah, because there'd be but okay.
There's
Probably just a
transmission.
button. You probably just push a button.
Mhm.
I also Nuke the Ben here statement says I started listening in 2016. It wasn't a dad back then. Now I'm a stepdad. That's awesome. Right? Like
He didn't start listening. He was on an episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Appeared on episode. Yeah. Holy jeez.
Making Switch pricing predictions. Wow. We need to dig that one out of the archive and see what the predictions were.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a
Go ahead.
fun year that last part of 2016 because not only did you guys do that, but you also had Adam on where you guys were talking about the design of the Switch, the NX, and he was sitting there drawing it out while you guys were talking about it. That was one of my favorite episodes. That's why I remember that one. All right. Solo asks, saw Jesse playing Zelda last night. Interested to see if he loves it or ways he would like to improve it. So, I mean, we talked about it already, but is there anything you'd like to improve yet? Or do you want to play it some more?
I probably have to play it more to get a better answer. But something I forgot to mention, and I did mention at the end of my video, what I'm worried most about it going into it deeper is, am I going to get analysis paralysis with all these echo options? Already it seems like I have like 30 available and I'm only 2 hours in. How deep is this going to go?
Right. And it probably goes to what Justin was saying earlier about having a better system to be able to get through those items.
Right.
So, going back to things about what's happened in people's lives while listening to the show, Vic mentioned during COVID, me and my family's life was turned upside down, but you guys were one of our few glimmers of hope and sanity.
That's cool.
Yeah, because we're not trying to be able to come out of this with big heads.
Yeah.
But we love hearing because we're here chit-chatting, just hanging out and stuff like that. But sometimes I think I don't know about you guys, but it may get to us to think, are we wasting our time doing this, where we could just probably chit-chat in a Zoom and don't have to worry about doing all the stuff that we do. But if people are actually listening, that type of thing. And obviously people do. So that's great.
I love the fact that people find value in this, find joy, find a community, and not necessarily that we are that thing, but rather that they have found something.
Yes.
Right. That's the thing that to me is the coolest thing. I've always said that the thing that I never expected from this,
right,
like was, and a benefit that was like completely unbeknownst to me was the benefit of like people just really being part of a community that never occurred to me.
Right.
And now in hindsight, I'm like, why would that not occur to me? I don't get it, but it didn't.
And not even in Discord either. There's the community, there's community of people on Twitter who follow Nintendo Dads, on Facebook, wherever we are, there's a community of people there and they usually respond to stuff and there's people having conversations there. So it's really good to see. It's really cool. Next up, Zablanc says, Happy Outbreak Day, Dads. Today is the 11th anniversary of the outbreak in The Last of Us, beginning according to the in-game calendar. According to the TV show, the outbreak was a result of tainted flour and sugar. My question to you is, what is the most likely food that would have infected you on that day?
Bread.
Mm.
Just bread in general. I'm a breadaholic. Or
I
Oreos.
I would probably say this is such a weird one. I'd actually probably say water. Like I drink about 3 liters of water a day. Like that pretty constant drinking of water. Also Doritos. Doritos would kill me.
Water doesn't have flour or sugar in it.
Well, I thought you were sandwiches in general.
No.
Oh, it has to be water. Okay.
According to the TV show, the outbreak was a
Oh.
result of tainted flour and sugar. What is the most likely food that would have infected you?
I said bread in general. Like just bread. Because I eat a lot of bread.
We have Canadian healthcare. We wouldn't get infected. It'd
But
be
the
too
United
cold.
States is right here. We would overwhelmed you.
Pizza. Yeah, pizza.
Yeah, I probably would
Oh.
be chocolate.
Yeah. I would say tortilla shells. Like a homemade burrito.
Yeah.
Man, that flour would kill me. Right. I
That'll
like
do
a good breakfast
Yes.
burrito. I like a
breakfast
Blackstone burrito.
burritos are the best.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I got a Blackstone. I got a
had-
Blackstone recently. That has been game changing, let me tell you.
Yes.
Like on my way to class today, I swung by a Sonic and grabbed the breakfast burrito on the way. On the way,
Yeah.
that's like my
Breakfast
favorite menu
burritos are
item.
so good.
Yeah. Coffee with sugar.
Bagels. I like a good breakfast bagel.
Yeah, we'd all be dead.
Yeah.
We'd all be infected.
Instantly.
Instantly. Beer surveys us asks, now that football season is in full swing, do you think we'll ever get a Mario football game?
Oh man.
That's
We
part
already
one of
have
his
one.
question.
It's called Mario Soccer.
Oh.
A Mario American football.
You know what he was asking.
I would love a Mario American football game.
Me
But
too.
they would
Yeah,
not let
but-
Mario wrestle and play volleyball. So
Yeah, but I don't know how well American football is in Japan. So it, like soccer and baseball are more popular, definitely. So I'm going to say highly unlikely. Would I want to see it? Sure. Would I buy it? No, probably not. But doesn't mean someone else can't enjoy it.
I mean, they had a whole enemy based on football in Mario World.
Right. Charge and Chucks.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are great.
Yes. I would so eat that up. Also, what is your go-to game day snack?
Like as in like football game day snack?
Just game day. If you're into any kind of watching games, like Justin, you like rugby. So if you're watching a rugby game, what's your snack?
Popcorn.
I don't
Depends on where
normally have a snack when I'm watching sports, but if I
I
have to
hope you
choose
don't
one,
have a snack when you're eating.
yeah, right. But like a mixed nuts type of bowl.
Mix these nuts.
That time of the night, folks.
Mine is I love Doritos and a diet Mountain Dew or a Mountain Dew Zero.
Tim, I have to ask then.
Mhm.
Nacho cheese or Cool Ranch?
Spicy nacho cheese, the spicy cheese one. And then
You can see the disappointment in his eyes, right? Like he's just like, why? Why would you say that?
Everyone knows Cool Ranch Doritos are
Cool
the
Ranch?
superior
well,
Doritos.
even better is the Buffalo Ranch ones they have.
Ooh, those were good. Yeah.
I love those. Those are my number one right there whenever I can find them.
See, I'm not much of a ranch guy, so like if I get say buffalo wings, I'll at least eat them as is. I won't dip them in the ranch because I don't like ranch.
I think my go-to your question was like if I'm watching a sporting event. So like when it is like Super Bowl up here or Grey Cup, and we're doing like an event, we're doing nachos. We're doing wings. Like, and if I'm at a pub watching a sports, it's gonna be nachos. It's gonna be wings. Possibly like riblets, right, or matzo sticks. You're not getting me near vegetables, right? Like if there's vegetables on the nachos, benefit sure, but I'm not seeking them out, right? I'm not eagerly looking for them. I am
Speaking of
looking for
vegetables.
large, copious amounts of meat and cheese to
Right.
go in my body to soak up the copious amounts of booze and beer that I am drinking.
Speaking of vegetables, Mecca asks, have you had a carrot dog?
What?
And I went and I had to Google this to see what it is, but there are some people out there who enjoy torturing themselves. They grill carrots and put them on a hot dog bun. And no, the answer is no, Mecca. I have not had one of these and I will never have one of these because I love myself.
So is this like a vegan would have, vegetarian?
It's
would have these?
probably somebody who doesn't want a hot dog.
Carrot dog.
They want a carrot dog.
Like, are you Bugs Bunny?
Interesting. I don't understand why you're feeding my food the food it would eat. I don't like, why are you feeding me the food my food eats? That doesn't make sense to me.
Carrot dog.
Right.
That is the first time. That is the first time, and hopefully the last time I ever hear about a carrot dog.
There's
I've actually seen that before, and I pass.
Blech.
Do you remember? I think I told you Morgan became a vegetarian for an entire year. Do you remember
Yes,
this?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a journey. That was a real journey as a
I
parent.
remember. Can you remind me how she gave that up?
I was going to say, what wooed her back to?
Because I remember you mentioning that. We just cracked up.
So she did it twice. She did it once when we lived in Ireland.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to be vegetarian. We're like, okay, cool. We can support that.
Mm.
And one day I was like outside cooking burgers. Right. And she's like, oh, those look so good. I said, yeah, it's tough, hey? And I was like, well, you've got yourself some pineapples here you can throw on it. And that's great. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I think I might want to be, I might want to eat a burger. And I was like, oh, well, how convenient. I was going to just have a double myself, but why don't you have one? I wasn't going to have a double. And so I remember having the conversation. I was like, you can still be a vegetarian, but you have meat tendencies, which means you prefer eating vegetables, but occasionally you would like some meat, and that's okay. Right? If that's how you identify, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so she's like, this is great. And so we had her do that. And then year.
It's not like the vegan in Scott Pilgrim, huh?
Yeah, no. So
did she ever get vegan powers?
No, she didn't
able to shoot lasers out of her fingertips.
No. One Christmas, because then we came back to Canada and she's like, I'm going to do this. And she sat with it for almost a year. And I remember at Christmas time, we literally got her like a vegetarian tofu turkey ducking thingy. And it was one of the worst things. And we were in the summer. And finally, like I was out like cooking ribs and she just broke. She's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I was like, listen, you literally in Alberta, like you can hear your dinner mooing just over there. Like, I don't understand why you're fighting this. This is not something that you should be doing. I mean, totally her choice, right? We support her. We did it for an entire year, but that was a journey. That was a real journey.
You're way better than me. I think I have uttered before the words, no daughter of mine.
You hippies. Yeah. So that's always a good time.
The last question Darth Platypus asked is time for a Nintendo Dad sleepover. Which character would you each have on your sleeping bag and what multiplayer game is keeping you up? So mine, of course, would be Metroid on my sleeping bag.
What's your game?
The game that we would all be playing? We'd probably be playing Mario Kart for one. I know that would probably be one of those. Even though Jesse doesn't play it, he's got it now, so he just have to practice. And then when we get that
I still have not unlocked anything.
When we get that multiplayer Tetris, we got to try that.
Mario Kart was going to be my guess, and of course, Mega Man on the sleeping bag.
Okay.
I was going to say Link on the sleeping bag and Jackbox games.
There we go.
Mine is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Absolute class. And if we are indeed talking about sleeping bags as if we were a child, it would be Donatello. would be on my sleeping
The
bag.
best turtle.
Ninja Turtle. The best Ninja Turtle.
He
there
is the awesome ninja.
Yep.
Ninja Turtle.
That
Yes.
is
Yeah,
who it would be.
Better reach. That's
Yep.
everybody
Yeah,
knows
'cause-
that.
100%.
Yeah.
And he's smart and he can build stuff.
Yeah, I said Jackbox because I don't think I could talk anyone else into playing Picross with me.
Nope.
Yeah, Tim tried that one time.
Yeah, I was good.
in New
No,
York.
I know I'd get beat really bad. It would not be a challenge for you, Jesse. You would just
Cooperative Picross, yes. Competitive
Yes.
Picross, no.
no. It would be like when Marty goes up against Mrs. Mason, you know, for
Short dip. Oh, short dip.
Over and over and over.
Why do you hate
That's
me
it.
so much?
There were times
That's it.
that little jingle was just playing in rotation. Like,
But like you were helping the children.
yeah. I had to tell myself that to get over the pain. Anyway. Well, guys, that has been episode 497 of Nintendo Dads. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And as we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers. That's Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, and our other 100 plus patrons. Thanks so much for keeping the lights on over here at Nintendo Dads HQ. And your support of the show helps us do cool things like give away a Switch Lite and mystery boxes and all kinds of other stuff. So a special thank you to also 22 of you who get access to our Discord and kind of Patreon producer credit or patron credit by being Twitch Prime subscribers. We've got over 1,400 Twitch followers now and over 7,700 YouTube subscribers. We mention these numbers and we mention you guys simply because we would not be anywhere without you. We exist simply because we have people who listen to us like Victorious and others who wrote in and Sparky and shared their stories. And you can do that too. We're looking for your stories about 10 years of Nintendo Dads. You can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail for us with your take at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. And don't forget to check out our website at nintendodads.org where you can get Spotify podcast feeds for all of our shows, the latest YouTube videos and tweets, links to our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and of course, 10th anniversary and just regular Nintendo Dads merch as well. Head over to manscaped.com and get 10% or 20% off your Manscaped order and free shipping with the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. And again, big thanks to OC Remix for the music we use throughout the show. And wherever you download us or catch us in your podcast app of choice, please remember to leave us a 5-star review and some written words, a comment about how much you love us. It helps push us up the charts, help people find us, and everybody just loves that. We just love it. It's so good. It's fantastic. So for me, for Justin, for Jesse, Tim, and Teddy, we'll see you next time.
Bye, Teddy.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am? Nintendo Dad's Podcast.